for a while, and my favorite food there was curry chips, which is thick French fries covered with curry sauce, which sounds kind of disgusting, but it was absolutely delicious, and I loved it. I was living in Belfast for about 6 months. I was on a tourist visa, and Belfast, as you know, is in Northern Ireland, technically still part of the UK. So as my time there was coming, as my legal 6 months was coming to a close, I was coming up with this scheme to try to get around the system and stay longer because I wanted to stay. So I came up with this plan that I would leave the country, fly through England, fly into the Republic of Ireland, technically another country, and then take a bus up over the border because there's no immigration at the border. And that way I was in another country and they would know, and I would lie when I came through the airport about where I intended to go. Easy, no problem, right? So I was seeing this guy at the time, this Irish guy, and the thing about Irish men is like whatever they say because of the accent, it just sounds so magical, and you're like totally on board, you know? Oh, let's go jump into the water. It's 20 degrees Fahrenheit. It's refreshing. Yeah, okay. Like try this black pudding. It's delicious. It's sheep's blood. Yeah, I'll eat it. You know, whatever they say. So this guy, he told me, oh, Marta, I'll tell you what to do. Don't fly into Dublin. It's going to be crawling with immigration. Go to Knock Airport in the west of Ireland. You walk right past. They don't even look at you. So I was like, yeah, I'll go to Knock. So I got my flight sorted to go to East Midlands and then into Knock, and packed just a small bag because I would be coming right back. So as we got off the plane in Knock, by the way, everyone else on the plane was there to go on a pilgrimage because there's a shrine there. It's where Mary's mother Jesus appeared, and all of those people were holy people who were going to see that. And I was about to tell a lie, but I stood up straight and I got into the line for foreign passports. But the immigration officer knew that something was up, and I don't know how he started asking me all these questions. Where are you going? How much money do you have? Who are you staying with? And I'm like, cool, I can execute this. And I gave him the name and number of a friend in Dublin, thinking that he would write it down like they always do and then just let me go. But he went into the little booth and he called her. And he caught her totally off guard. And he came back out and he said, she's not expecting you. That's deception. Go stand against the wire. Go back on the plane you came on. I was like, okay, and then what's going to happen? He's like, they'll probably deport you, but it's not my problem. I'm not letting you in. Go stand against the wall. So I'm standing against the wall, and the next plane with all those holy pilgrims are coming, and they're all walking by looking at me like, what's she done? Then he escorts me back to the plane, sits me down right in the middle, and talks to the stewardess at the front, pointing me out, like, keep an eye on her. So the whole way back, I'm sitting on this plane, like, I'm going to jail. I'm going to be in a jail cell tonight. It's probably going to be so cold. I can't sleep when it's cold. I might get, like, one blanket that'll be threadbare and thin. And I might get a sandwich, but in Ireland, they put mayonnaise all over all of their sandwiches, and I can't stand mayonnaise. And I use a lot of toilet paper. My friends know when I'm coming. They got to stock up on rolls, but you probably can get rationed toilet paper in jail. I'm sure, like, 2 sheets, and it's probably 1 ply. So I'm sitting there like, oh, my God. Finally, we get off the plane. The line is really slow going through immigration. As I get to the front, I see why. It's because the guy has a picture of me printed out, and he's comparing it with passport. So I'm like, it was me. So they take me into this little room, and it's like every cop show you've ever seen is playing out before my eyes. There's a long table. I'm on one side of it. This cop is on the other side. There's all the little rooms, and phones are ringing, and he's asking me questions. But he's really nice, this gentleman, actually, and he's kind of my age, and he's very kind, and I'm of 2 minds. Like, part of me feels like, I'm at confession, just bless me, Father, I broke the law, and this is what happened. The other part of me is like, it's a job interview. Calm, collected, pretend to be something I am not. But he asked me the questions, and he kind of gets the truth out of me, and he's really nice, and I tell him the truth. And he says, you have 24 hours to leave or we'll deport you. We're going to alert the authorities in Belfast. I'm like, no, I'll leave, I'll go. So then I turned to go, and it almost felt like it was a date because, I told him all this personal stuff, and we really got to know each other. And I want to say, I'll look for you on Facebook. It probably wasn't appropriate. So I left, flew back to Belfast, packed up all my stuff, was ready to go. The next day, the Irish guy called me and said, Martin, I'm so sorry, it's my fault. I told you to go to Knock, I'm sorry. But at this point, I was very nobly accepting my fate. I said, no, it's my time. And there's one thing that I had to do before I left. I went down the corner to the chip shop and got a curry chip, brought it back, and stood at the kitchen counter, and I ate my last meal in Ireland. Thank you.